So right in the beginning, I would like to thank the organizers, that is Business World Defense and Vivekanand International Foundation, for this timely initiative to organize an international conference on India-Central Asia relation. And this actually comes, as Anurag just now mentioned, in the backdrop of the first India-Central Asia Summit by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, with the participation of all leaders of Central Asian countries next week, which is 27 January 22. And this will be a historic summit, as it is the first of its kind interaction between all leaders of Central Asia and any other country, with which also we enjoy a bilateral relationship. And this year, we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Central Asian countries. We were the first ones to recognize them as independent nations. And thus, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's historic visit to all the Central Asian countries in 2015 gave another opportunity and opened a new chapter in our engagement with the Central Asian region. The then External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, along with the Foreign Minister of Uzbekistan, organized the first India-Central Asia dialogue in Samarkand, Uzbekistan in 2019. And last month, the foreign ministers of all Central Asian countries attended the third India-Central Asia dialogue in New Delhi, while in November last year, the secretaries of security councils of Central Asian countries took part in the regional security dialogue on Afghanistan in India. An external affairs minister traveled to most of the Central Asian countries in 2021, despite the COVID-related restrictions. And all this reflects the common desire of India and the Central Asian countries to cooperate to further strengthen our relationship. And friends, the historical and cultural linkages between India and Central Asian countries go back to several millennia. Northern India especially and parts of Central Asia were once part of the Kushan Empire so far as historicity of the place is concerned. And several Buddhist sites excavated throughout Central Asia testified to the spread of Buddhism from India to Central Asia and beyond. Indian culture, especially yoga, dance, music, Bollywood, remain extremely popular in Central Asia. And Turkmenistan hosts the region's first yoga and traditional medicine center, while Indian cultural centers are functional in Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. And an Indian yoga teacher has been deputed since last year to the Yoga Federation of Uzbekistan. Our cooperation in the field of education is growing with interest among our universities, as well as some of the Central Asian countries for setting up of campuses of Indian universities in these countries. The starting of some campuses like, say, Sharda, Amity, Sambharan University in Uzbekistan are prime examples of such auspicious beginning. Then there are large number of Indian students pursuing medical education in most of these Central Asian countries. Last year, I personally had the opportunity to witness the warmth of our cultural relation during my visit to the historic city of Tashkent and Bukhara in Uzbekistan. I was really happy to note that a sizable Indian community, mostly students pursuing mostly medical education, form part of the growing people-to-people contacts between Asia and Central Asia. And during COVID period, these governments really took care of our fellow students. And despite the geographical proximity, the unfortunate part is that our trade is just about $2.5 billion with the Central Asian countries. And that's the last year's statistics, which remains, according to me, well below the potential. Central Asian countries, to the little experience that I've had, are endowed with the rich natural resources, like they have oil, gas, uranium, rare earths, and huge potential for hydropower. And similarly, we as India are moving assiduously towards self-reliance And we have our strength in numbers and in number of areas that could be taken advantage of by these Central Asian countries, not only in terms of the large Indian market, but as an attractive investment destination as well. And we need to make concerted efforts to boost trade in sectors like pharmaceuticals, information technology, agriculture, energy, textiles, tourism, gems and jewelry, and I'm sure many other possibilities exist. And I understand that the India Central Asia Business Council, which was launched in New Delhi in 2020, has been actually making huge efforts to facilitate greater understanding of business regulations and incentives for mutual investment and benefits. And the focus has to be connectivity, because it's connectivity which is impacting our economic ties and which can lead to economic multiplier also. And it has been acquired more salience in the context of post-COVID economic recovery. So connectivity with the Central Asian countries remains a key priority for India. And India is a member of both the International North-South Transport Corridor and Ashgabat Agreement. We've taken several steps to operationalize Chabar port in Iran, which can provide a secure, viable, and unhindered access to the sea for the Central Asian countries which are landlocked. While expanding connectivity between India and the region, it is important to ensure that connectivity initiatives are based on economic viability and financial responsibility. They must be consultative, transparent, and should not create debt burdens. They should respect the basic principles of international law, especially the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the countries. And friends, the insecurity, or should I say, the security and stability of the Central Asian region is paramount for all of us. There should be no place for terrorism, extremism, drug trafficking, radicalization, and such implications which lie for the region that each one of us has to be absolutely clear on the basic principles of interaction and dealing with such menaces. We should make all efforts to combat these menaces that particularly target our youth, who are the beacons of our future. And as neighboring countries of Afghanistan, India and Central Asian countries are naturally concerned about the developments within Afghanistan and their external repercussions. The outcomes of the Delhi Regional Security Conference on Afghanistan in November 21, which was attended by all Central Asian countries, is symbolic of our common approach on this issue. And I'm confident that today's International Conference of India-Central Asia Relations will bring in new ideas for taking India-Central Asia relations to the newer height. I wish good health and success to all the participants. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.